Thank you for joining us on Matters Horizon. This afternoon is already evening anyway. But let's get at it. We're back to campaign season again. Campaign started just almost immediately. There was handover May 29, 2023. Immediately as what you said, the subsidy was gone. Thereafter, campaign started. I mean, Nigeria has not seen it. We haven't seen it this way before. So, how come that our streets are still burning? Yesterday, there was a lot of shootouts in Kogi. Our girls are still in captivity. Nigerians are still worried, trying to know who ordered or authored the withdrawal of the troops that were meant to protect the Kebbi girls that were eventually released or rescued. Nigerians are still arguing about that. Now we have renewed hope, ambassadors' vehicles being distributed for 2027 campaign. Isn't it time? I mean, we're still almost 2 years to election. Isn't it time to suspend anything political and face the problem that is facing us? Let me start from you, Philip.
Thank you very much. I'm happy you said that if it is not time for us to face governance. But unfortunately, this is a government who do not believe that it's in government, who sees itself as in opposition, and the only thing he knows how to do is politicking and how to win elections. You know, this is the only government that the only thing they is known for is how to scheme and win elections. Now, coming to the issue of, Homer, ambassador of renewed hope. Talk about, is it strange that our girls are still captivity? Or is it strange that our streets are still burning and they were gunshot in Kogi yesterday and all of that? I will take your mind back to what Solomon Dalong, former Minister of Youth and Sports, said, that this kidnapping and this release, they were orchestrated to show to America that the government has started working. Because America had said that if that Nigeria is under siege and that the Christians are the greatest victim, and that if Nigeria fold their hands and the Christians are being killed every day, they will come and take out the terrorists. So what did the Nigerian government do? They need to show to the international community that they are working. So they staged, according to Solomon Lalong, that they staged the kidnapping and the release. Why did he have to say so? He was quoting the spokesman of the president, a person of Bayo Nanuga, who said they were in contact with the bandit, and the bandit understand the consequence of what they are doing. If they don't respect the opinion of the president, they know what will come upon them. And these are criminals who had committed crime, because banditry is a crime. I don't think it's a legitimate business. Yeah. And you are saying that you have a contact with it. It shows that the government is a partnership. So you cannot fault Lalong for saying that it is stage managed.
I think what Lalong is saying, that he suspects that is stage managed.
Yes. That's why I'm quoting here. Yeah. That's why you cannot fault him. If the spokesperson of the president had said so. Yeah. Now, coming to the issue of the Homer bus being distributed today, now that they have shown to the outside world that they are working, before now, the only thing we hear, it is the governor of other party decamping to APC, especially the worst hit is the PDP. Yes. Both in the Senate, in the House of Reps, and their governors and houses of assembly are moving en masse to the APC, especially in the South. In fact, the entire South. The only one that is standing is the governor of Rivers State. But of course, we know that one is 95% gone to APC. Whether it stays PDP or not, it's immaterial, because the Rivers State House of Assembly yesterday was dominated by PDP. Yeah. Passed a vote of confidence on Mr. President, which is in another party. It's unheard of. So now that they have shown to the America that they are working, they cannot go back to what they know how to do best. And that is the only thing this government, the president, think of is 2027. And that is why he has appointed, ambassador for renewal for 2027. He didn't stop there. He had to equip them with both vehicle and otherwise for them to get that to work. So it wasn't a surprising thing to me.
All right. So you can flash the picture of that buses for us. So Peter, Nigerians we have docility. We have patience that is almost inexhaustible. But we have the children, attending this St. Mary Catholic Primary School in Niger State, in Papari, still in captivity. Yet, the president has resumed campaign activities again. Distributing balls under the leadership of Governor Uzodinma. Each time Uzodinma comes to your mind, they think that everybody thinks is the magic that made somebody that was fourth to become first. I mean, that's miraculous. Is that kind of miracle that we are looking at for 2027? You can display that picture of that buses.
And we also called the Supreme Court governor.
Yeah.
It's true that he said he has resumed campaigning again. I don't think that's the right word to use. He has always been campaigning from day one, has been campaigning. But for me, honestly, I don't have an issue with it, because if our election happens same February 2026, I mean, it has barely about 14 months to it. But the issue is that he started campaigning early. A smart person can multitask. He can be facing the issues that is holding Nigerian back and still do their politics. These are politicians, and politicians do what? Politics. So probably his end game is to rule for 8 years, and his program, maybe the maturity date, is 8 years. So he wants to see his program to fruition. So him campaigning, I don't have an issue with it. But if they are multitasking, if you have a team that is dedicated to resolve this insecurity that's ravaging this country.
I'm sorry I had to come in here, because I have an issue. Because we're a country that is governed by laws, and the law states when you can start your campaign for a political office.
Yes.
And it is very clear, both in our electoral law and in our constitution. On what plank are you standing on that you don't have a problem with a government that is campaigning without doing his business of governance, when the law has not allowed anybody to campaign yet? If the government in power, his party in power is campaigning, what will the opposition party do at this time?
Okay, yeah, can I say a question? If you remember some months back, INEC came out and told us, yes, this state might not be bad, but they don't have any power. There's no power given to them to sanction anybody that wants to campaign. Since there's a lacuna that's not being addressed, they're exploiting it. The issue still remains that insecurity is ravaging this country. They should address it. But at the same time, you can still have another team that is campaigning for you. They have a program. Maybe their program will mature in the next 6 years, because they've ruled us for almost 3 years. We've not seen it. So for them to get this thing across to Nigerians, maybe they need that 6 year. What do? You campaign for it.
But the campaign, is it being done legally? Because INEC actually have a timetable when campaign can start.
So since INEC has the timetable, what should INEC do? If INEC is umpire that knows that this is wrong, you sanction the party. What is it to have the party?
What should INEC do? Because normally we have a timetable when campaign activities should start. What should INEC do? Because I'm not put up promise Nigerians he's going to be independent, all the blah 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 that is short after election. The loser will congratulate the winner. All the promises on earth. I mean, it is your footsteps that will make us know where you are going to be headed. Campaign activities have started. Branded vehicles being distributed for campaign activities. What should INEC do? Can they successfully dissociate these activities from campaign?
Very well. You see, INEC it had the right and the power to disqualify those, because the law is clear, those who flout the law. And Nigeria also has a right to go to court, to blacklist the party that is campaigning at this time. We agree that we are not in the right, legal framework.
Yes.
That our laws are being flouted day and night. But the truth remains that if we call ourselves that we're in democracy, then we should play according to the rule. You see, the law is not very clear on what INEC should do about
the sanction.
The sanction aspect is not very clear. But it's also very clear that you cannot campaign within this period. And the period for campaign is just 90 days.
Okay, let me come to you. Okay, can I come to you? Okay. Can I come to you? So oftentimes some of these activities they can say it's not a campaign activities. How can INEC the metrics, what benchmark will INEC use to say, oh, this qualifies as a campaign activity? Is it sharing of branded buses, or until you carry microphone and gather people and say vote for me? What qualifies as campaign activities?
Okay, let me take what Mahmoud said before he left office. He called it campaign activities. He said it started early, but the statute that established INEC did not give them the power to sanction this thing. He asked them to stop. Mahmoud did. He didn't shy away from it. But see, the act that established INEC should have given INEC more authority.
Specific authority.
To do this. He said it. It is wrong. That's all could they do. They could only come and tell us it's wrong, but they cannot sanction whoever that is involved in this.
Okay, let me come to you, Philip. You know, I've always advocated that the laws of the white man is not the laws of the black man. The laws of the white man, you can have a vehicle that are headed at two opposite traffic directions. If you demarcate the middle with just a white solid line, people will maintain their traffic. The ones going forward will be going, the ones coming backward will be coming. But the laws for black man, you need to demarcate that middle with a concrete barrier, such that even though you wanted to take into the other lane, it becomes impossible. Yesterday, I spoke to someone who was in jail for 14 years and he was awaiting trial. And the law says that this trial should be concluded within a reasonable time. 14 years was even unreasonable for them to have concluded a trial. And at the end of the day, the man was innocent and committed no crime. Nigerian laws, how specific can we be? Let's have specific benchmark. What INEC should specifically do to somebody that started campaign ahead or before the time.
You see, I will continue to say this, that our law has no problem. It's the implementation. I've said it before and I'll say it again. But before I go there, he made a statement in his previous analysis, saying that maybe this is justifying the act of this government campaigning at this time. That they had a program that they would materialize in 6 years' time. So what they need to do is to campaign at this time. You see, you cannot justify what is wrong to be right. If the law do not allow you to campaign, you can't campaign at this time. So when you talk about, we borrow these laws and how are we going to be effective with the laws? Fine, maybe because our understanding and our psyche made up is that if the sun is not clearly black and white, it should not be so.
As it is, so as the way we have been handling it, it has to be black and white.
So I think we need to go back to the National Assembly to revisit the Electoral Act, to see and revisit that particular section that says that campaign will start at a particular time
to be determined by INEC.
And they should impute a
specific penalty up to the point of disqualification.
Exactly. So that we will be sure that if you campaign when you are not supposed to campaign,
you get disqualified.
Because if you ask a question, say, how would one say that the campaign activity had not started? What do you mean by a branded vehicle? The purpose of the branded vehicle is to show to the world that
you have started. All right, let's have a picture of that branded vehicle again, Renewed Hope Ambassador's vehicle. You know, I saw you were shaking your head as if maybe Philip was misquoting you or didn't understand what you meant. You were advocating that, yes, I see what you have the right to continue the campaign, or what can you explain?
You put them out of context.
Okay. What is the context and what is the quote?
If there's a lacuna in any law, what do people do? They exploit it. Since there is one, and these people feel like they can exploit it, have not done anything wrong. If they've done, there should be sanction. But my take here is that if they've done well, if they have a team that is currently tackling our security issues, a team that is tackling our economic issues, if these things are going concurrently, Nigerians don't have a problem with it. Nigeria is talking that because our country is insecure. But if everything being equal, nobody cares.
Okay, there are two things that is on ground here. One, it is not yet time to campaign by INEC guidelines. Two, the country is burning. Blood is flowing. We have girls in captivity. The other day, imagine NSA traveled to Papari in Niger State to meet the parents of these girls. We are not talking about Kwara again. We're not talking about the 3 people that were killed when they were kidnapping the people in the church. You know, when you say 3 people look like it's nobody. We're talking about when a brigadier general was killed. And up to today, the people that killed him, we've not heard that they have been decimated, been arrested, been destroyed, or whatever. This country is burning. These are 2 benchmarks. No campaign activity is attractive to anybody by conscience or by law. That's what Philip is advocating for. You think APC should continue campaign?
No, for morality they shouldn't. But legally, if they're not bound by this,
even legally, you see, we have advocated it here over and over to everybody. If you are elected into office for a first tenure and you so wish to contest for a second term, All you need to do is to perform.
Simple.
When you do your work, the people, you don't need to campaign. So the fact that this government is campaigning is a sign of failure without even mentioning it. So the government, if they had wanted a second term in office, they should have started work from day one. The way they said subsidy is
okay. Let me shock you. If you remember the last time, I was saying that election is different from re-election.
Yes.
When it is time for re-election, it is your work that will knock on the door of people. Remember at Airport Road, there used to be signposts with Asiwaju's picture, some has Tompolo's picture, door-to-door campaign for Asiwaju. Immediately Trump tweeted, they removed all those campaign posters. Are they going to bring back those campaign posters to knock on the door of people rather than have the fruit of their labor, their work, their performance knock on the doors of Nigeria? Because during the election, you cannot use microphone. You have to use your work.
In Nigeria, because Buhari ran for 4 years, he was re-elected. Why was he re-elected? Is it because of his performance? Nigeria, we are divided. We are divided by religion and tribe. We should move beyond that. A same country, a country that is where we score you based on your scorecard. We re-elect you based on what you've done. Not based on is our turn to do 8 years. In Nigeria, it's turn. Once you're there, everybody will say it's our turn. So we'll have to do 8 years. So this is the situation we find ourselves. As I say, I am not. I am not. What is the right word here? This government, I'm not a fan of it. I've never been. But truth still remains that since what they are doing is within confine of the law, nothing can be done about it. Is it right? Wait, is it right? No,
because the law is clear. The law is not.
Then law should take effect.
See, the fact that the
law should take effect. INEC should come in and sanction them. They should sanction them even if they're going against the law. That's my stand.
So in this case, can Amobiton use this opportunity to prove to Nigerians that though I was appointed by Asiwaju, but I'm now independent, that what I see is sharing of campaign vehicles, vehicles branded for campaign tied to 2027 shouldn't be happening now. Let's talk about the legality and melt a certain kind of sanction against them.
Certainly, that's what we expected of Amobiton to do. That's why somebody, posed a question in an article titled "The Ambassadorial List." Who is Amobiton working for? So this is the time for Amobiton to prove himself that he's working for the Nigerian populace or he's working for those who appointed him. Because the truth is that if we're to be opposition, another party, ADC for instance, or SDP or PDP candidate that has branded his vehicle before now, you can be rest assured that the police will have been knocking at that office door to reclaim those vehicles, because these vehicles will be confiscated.
If the status that established INEC does not give him such powers, and nothing he can do.
Yeah, well, I understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from. But at the end of the day, the double questions Nigerians are asking, even though INEC in its capacity might not be able to do anything, which they should, we have kids in captivity. We have local governments under the control of bandits. Our highways, as we are preparing for Christmas, people are not sure whether they're going to travel or not. Our farmers can't go to farm. The in-house cleaning that is just started, in Insecurity, appointment of General Most, everybody applauded it. We hope he's able to perform. But certainly, this is not the time for campaign. And we have no other better way of putting it forward. This is not the time for campaign. If you can't be too patient to wait for the time that INEC announces that you should start your campaign, certainly there is something wrong with the process. And Nigerians who are still interested in our country working, then re-election should be based on your performance, not by your political ability. We'll be right back.